be frosty out there, but in here, it's the hottest ticket in town. Great guests tonight, including Kate Winslet back in the water. Let's start the show! Show! Yes! And an especially big welcome to any new viewers who are watching us after cancelling their Netflix subscription. What's a key now? Let's ruin their Netflix and chill night. Hey! Everyone's starting to feel festive? Yeah! I know! Only 16 more striking days till Christmas. Train drivers, postal staff, now ambulance workers, all taking industrial action and kind of spoiling all our Christmas traditions. You know, we won't be able to visit friends or send presents to family or drink ourselves into a coma. This way, ladies. No, it's so depressing. Honestly, I'd leave the country, but the airport workers have gone on strike now, too. So, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the country will grind to a halt. And nothing to do with the train drivers. Oh, no! England take on France in the World Cup. You're all going to be watching? You will. Yes, you will. One thing's for sure, the losing team will be leaving right away. Well, you know, you're not welcome in Qatar if you're out. You see. So, good luck, England. Maybe football's finally coming home, just as long as it isn't coming by post, getting a train, or flying. Hey, let's get some guests on! Later, we'll have music from the irrepressible Olly Murs! First, you've enjoyed him in Bad Education, Jungle Cruise, and the Oscar-winning Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's top comic Jack Whitehall! Welcome back. Have a seat, too. This bake-off champion and best-selling author is back with her latest book, Nadiya's Everyday Baking. It's Nadiya Hussain! Have a seat, too. He's a BAFTA-winning actor, author, campaigner, and founding member of Comic Relief. Please welcome the great Sir Lenny Henry. Oh, thanks. You're so dapper. Gorgeous. Have a seat, too. And she's the Oscar, Emmy, and BAFTA-winning star of The Reader, Mayor of Easttown, and Titanic. Now she's back in the water for James Cameron's sequel to Avatar. It's Kate Winslet! Very good. Welcome back, Kate Winslet. Do you know everyone on the couch now?
Well, we met years ago when I was doing Sense and Sensibility and you came for a visit.
Yeah, I had a band called Poor White Trash and the Little Bighorns, and we came and sang soul music, and you guys danced very kindly, and that's when I met you the first time.
Yeah, I
think you were complaining about the noise.
Was I? Sorry about that.
It's OK.
Yeah, I would have been 19, and then we don't really know each other, but you're very good friends with my husband's cousin, so there's this weird
That's connection. Yeah. I think, as Jack tells it, you are very good friends.
We're very good.
We've met those before.
Yeah.
But we've never met, have we?
No, we've never met.
No, we've
But
lovely
Nadiya,
to meet you.
But Nadiya, perhaps you feel like you've met because were you doing prep for tonight? Is that why? 'Cause I know Titanic was on telly this week. Is that?
No. So my daughter, my boys don't care. They're like, I don't want to watch Titanic. Sorry.
No, good. Good. I don't want to watch Titanic.
Avatar, however, they will be all over it. But my daughter really wanted to watch Titanic. And I thought, oh, you know what, there's a bit of... Maybe give her a bit 12. So she turned 12. I said, OK, you can watch Titanic. And then when she always asks, who are you going to meet? I said, this is who I'm going to meet. And she said, like, the lady of Titanic. And I said, yeah. She goes, but you've seen her boobies.
No, my daughter actually had that at school. Someone...
That's worse.
It was quite weird. She said that someone came up to her having figured out after 4 years of being at school together that I was her mum. And she went, "Oh, my God, I've seen your mum's boobs."
Yes. My daughter did say, she said, "Where are you going to look?" And I said, well, at her face, of course. Of course.
Eyes up here.
Eyes up here.
Eyes up here, kid.
Yeah. And Jack Whitehall, just back from America.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Are you liking it out there?
Yes, I do like it. I miss England if I'm there for too long. I miss the sort of apathy and disinterest of Brits. It's all a bit enthusiastic in the States. And LA as well is a nice place, but there's quite a lot of tits out there as well. I met a guy in a party. I've literally just come back from Los Angeles, and I met a guy at a party who had a man bun and one of those sort of plunging necklines with the male cleavage.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked him where he lived, and he responded, "In the moment." Asked me where I lived. I was like, I'm trying to live in the moment before you started talking. I've just been sick in my mouth.
Listen, let's get started with our big movie tonight. Kate Winslet brings us Avatar: The Way of Water. It opens next Friday, and you've now seen it, haven't you?
I have.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
No, and honestly, it is amazing.
It really is extraordinary.
Is that you?
Absolutely. That's me. Feast your eyes now, because I'll be hard to pick out when you're actually seeing the film. Just so you know. Right, Graham?
I'm afraid I did leave after 3 hours, 10 minutes, and I didn't know who Kate Winslet would be.
I'm the pregnant one. Yes, that's me. That's my character.
Very, very good. So that's who you play, but who are you in terms of the story? How much can you tell us?
So what I can tell you is that this story is set about 10 years on from the first one, and the Neytiri and Jake have left the forest. They have fled, and they seek sanctuary in the water, from the water people, the water tribe, the Metcaina, of whom I am the
remembered.
The female. No, I am. I'm Ronal. She is the leader, the female leader of the Metcaina water tribe, and they live a completely different way of life, and so the Sullys have to learn their ways and live and breathe and do everything in and on the water and under the water.
And, I mean, James Cameron has knocked it out of the park, because it's exciting, it's moving, but it's visually just unbelievable.
It is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, you do feel you could reach out and touch it. And the water sequences are just incredible. None of us could ever have imagined it would be like that. You just want to get into that water. It's amazing, so magical.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's watch a clip. This is just a taste of The Way of Water. Here we go.
Why do you come to us? I just want to keep my family safe. Treat them as our brothers and sisters. Teach them our ways. Keep up, Forest Boy!
If you want to live here, you have to ride.
Let's do it.
Just breathe.
Let's get it done.
Oh.
And everything that he's talking about now. What's the point?
It looks great, doesn't it?
That looks great. I want to fly into that thing's mouth and swim around.
And that's just in 2D. It is just brilliant 3D. Well, just at the premiere, when you're all in your beautiful frocks, do you then just sit put in the plastic glasses and sit there?
Yes, or if you're my husband, you put up the foot thing and you go like this. So Ned's sitting there with his feet up and his popcorn like this and his glasses on, he's like, hi. He's just having an absolutely great time. No, it's completely extraordinary.
And what was it like being reunited with James Cameron? Because was it 26 years since Titanic?
It's actually nearly 27 since we were filming. I had my... Oh, look, there we are. Oh. There's me going, I'm so tired and cold. I turned 21.
That's hands-on directing.
I'm not kidding. This actually was the week of my 21st birthday. I remember the sequence we were filming when I turned 21, and it was that sequence. And now I'm 47, so it's a
Sorry,
long time
what the
ago.
hell? That door could float with 3 people.
Yeah. Yes.
Spoiler. Spoiler.
Listen, I'm so down for that conversation. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Look, we could have all fitted on.
And what was it? But the coming back together again, because you're not the same people. You know,
Yeah.
you're in your 40s. He's, I don't know how old he is, but you know.
95. No. It was honestly just amazing, really. And he has actually changed. I mean, he himself would say that he's just like a more chilled version of the person he always was. But how he creates these stories is just mesmerising. And what he did with Avatar and that cast, how he has established a working environment that is so much fun, really collaborative, super experimental. Like, it's honestly an amazing thing to be a part of. Really, I walked away thinking, my God, I just want to do that again and again and again. It was so amazing.
And now, Kate, the underwater stuff, there's been a lot in the press about you holding your breath, and you're very good at it. Because Tom Cruise has been on this very sofa talking about his holding the breath.
Oh, has he now?
Yes.
OK.
No,
I'm curious about that.
Well, he held the record for celebrity breath holding, which is a very niche, thing. He clocked in 6 minutes 30. Like, you thought I was going to say like 45 seconds. No, 6 minutes 30.
Which is 6 minutes 29 seconds more than Chris Moyles and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out.
OK, so that's Tom. We're just going to say the end of Kate Winslet, seeing how long. So she's been in the water. So you see the back of her head, and it's Kate's back of her head. There she is. So how long has she managed? Here we go. Roll it
Here
there.
we go.
Here we go. That's
Oh, yeah, here you go.
nice. Here we go. Here we go.
Am I dead? Am I dead?
You are alive. You are very much alive.
What was that?
What do you think it was?
I don't know. It could have been 6:10. It could have been 7:10.
It was 7:15.
Oh, come on! Come on!
Put it there!
Applause, Cruise. Wow.
It's unbelievable. What goes... I mean, because 7 minutes is so long. What were you thinking about? What's, you know, dinner tonight? What
Yes, I was. I was thinking, OK, chop the onion, peel the garlic, count the slats on the floor below me. I mean, firstly, I do have to just say this. It is a sport. It's not something that you can just try in the bath, and you should never, ever, ever... No, I really mean this. You should never do it by yourself, because actually what happens when people don't know what they're doing is they come up, and you saw I did a breathing sequence the second I came up, and then I was talking like a totally non-breathy person. So what happens is people will come up and they go, and that's when people black out and run into trouble. So it is not something you can just do without knowing what you're doing. So the training I had was 3 weeks of training every single day. And you learn how to literally change how you distribute the oxygen in your body. It's a very detailed, quite extraordinary process. And I loved it and got really, really good at it, it turns out.
You know who's running a bath right now? Tom Cruise. He's put the timer on his iPhone. He's in there.
But I'm so proud of it, and it is an amazing thing, you know. I'm in my 40s, I've had 3 children. You know, you don't think that you can be brave enough to learn something new when you've kind of left education behind. You think, oh, my learning something new years are gone.
Yeah.
And I was so, as a woman, I felt so great about it. I'm so powerful, and I was like, yes, come on, girls, we can get out there and do great things.
Well, particularly a physical thing.
Yeah,
you know.
it was really amazing.
Now, do you hear that, Nadiya? Oh, how long?
7:35.
Touch and go for a moment.
Your lips have gone a bit blue.
Yeah, a bit blue.
Breathing technique,
Do the
you need to do the
breathing technique thing.
I've never met your twin.
6 cleansing breaths, you'll be fine.
Now, talking of things happening to people, Nadiya Hussain, earlier this year, I think, was it your wisdom teeth you had out?
Yes.
Now, that sounds like a horrific experience, but I think you quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I had 2 wisdom teeth removed and I had a coronectomy. And so I went in and said, I can do this with injections, it'll be fine. And I said, no, just do it. Just take me out. And I felt it's the best thing I've ever done. It's the best thing.
Yeah, so we've got a clip. You sent us this clip. This is Nadiya coming to after the operation. And just for full clarity here, it is your husband filming this, right?
Yes, but he felt really bad filming it. He said I looked really out of it, but he still filmed it anyway.
Yes, so he did. No, I just wanted to be clear that that's who you're talking to, your husband.
Yes, I'm talking to my husband, not the dentist.
OK, yeah.
Yes.
This is Nadiya coming to after her op.
You make me smile more than the kids.
With the doctors, the dentist.
Because they give you drugs.
You should start that now.
What kind of drugs do they give at the dentist?
It's good drugs.
Very good, very good. How do you feel now? Done? All good?
Huh?
All good?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite person today?
You are my favourite person in the whole world.
Oh, I'm gonna post that. I'm joking.
It's so nice to see your face. I love you. It feels so nice to see your face.
How gorgeous is that?
That's lovely.
I still love him, even after drugs.
You
so
still
that's
like
good.
him?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's a clip from Bake Off Hash Brownie Week.
No, that's why I just want to clarify you were talking to your husband, and it wasn't just some awful drug-rattled Nadiya going, love you.
Would have been great if it had been the dentist, though.
And also, Kate, we must celebrate your return to British TV last night on Channel 4 with I Am Ruth. Yes! And that is you with your daughter, Mia.
Yes.
Which must have been an amazing experience.
It really was extraordinary. It was quite frightening because the whole film it's unscripted, it's improvised, so you truly make the words up as you go along. We had a structure for the story.
And you'd help structure the story?
Yeah, so Dominic Savage, the director, who constructs the story with the leading actor, you come up with the idea together. And we wanted to tell a story about a mother who was dealing with her very troubled teenager who's been sucked into the depths of telephone addiction, iPhone addiction and social media in a very unhealthy way that becomes damaging to her mental health, and the struggles that parents have to connect and get in there and try and help and do something. So he ended up casting my daughter, which was a kind of a surprise to me because Mia is 22 and the character is sort of 16, 17, and so that's quite a big jump, so I didn't think of her at all. And we were talking about other young actresses who could play the role, and he does like to cast real people. And, I mean, in the sense that there's a teacher who actually is my daughter's real teacher, and there's a doctor who was a real doctor, and things like that. And he turned around to me and said, look, I think, what about Mia? And I said, my Mia? And he said, well, why not? And I said, well, you have to audition her, and that has to be separate to me. And he said, look, I think she can do it. And I said, I know she can do it, but that's terrifying. But yeah, we did it, and I'm proud of it. It's quite a hard-hitting piece of television, but I think it's timely, and it's something I feel really, really strongly about as a parent. Yeah. So yes, that's I Am Ruth.
And if you missed it, then you really should catch up with it. It's called I Am Ruth. It's on All 4. And just a reminder that Avatar, The Way of Water, that's in cinemas from next Friday. Thank you very much, Kate. Very good.
Thank you.
OK. Now...
That's great. I know Dominic.
I do.
He's a good guy.
He's a wonderful director. Yeah, he's absolutely amazing.
And now, Lenny Henry, not just an actor, an author too, and 2 books to talk about tonight. It's like a mini library. Let's kick off with a new children's novel. It's called The Book of Legends, and that's out now. And essentially, for a kid who loves books, it's a book about the magic of books.
Yeah, it's a book about stories. Twin kids, Bran and Fran. Bran is deaf, his sister Fran is shy. They go on an extraordinary adventure into a magical land in search of their mom. And their mom is a prodigious storyteller who works in a bookshop in Birmingham called Once Upon a Wow. And she gets caught in a lightning storm and is magically shonked away. But she's left her book behind, which has all these stories, which are metaphorical and have analogies and similes about navigating this magical kingdom. And it's also got a poem about how to get there. and they follow the rules of the poem, and they get to this place, and they meet all kinds of extraordinary people. Now, the reason I wrote this book was, A, it was either that or going to the jungle with Matt Hancock. Or write a goddamn book. So I wanted to write a book for somebody that looked like me, who was about 8 or 12, who just liked the idea of adventure but didn't see themselves in stories. So that's why the Book of Legends.
And it's also a great defender of libraries and just, you know, storing books and access to
Yeah,
books.
because my Auntie Pearl wanted me to read when I was 8, 9, because she didn't see any books in the house. There were comics, but no books. And so she took me to Dudley Library and signed me up.
Dedicated, dedicated to Dudley Library.
Are you from Dudley? Can I have a lift home? It was literally Auntie Pearl, so thanks to her and thanks to Dudley Library, because that's why I read all these books, you know, Water Babies, Dickens, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's a tribute to that, really.
So that is out now, but so is the second volume of your autobiography. This is Rising to the Surface. And so the first one was kind of your beginnings.
Yeah.
And this is much more worky. It's much more focused on your career.
Yeah, it's from 20 years, 1980 to the year 2000, and it's kind of like the rise and fall of what it's like to graft in the showbiz crucible, if you like. You just have to get through it, and if something goes wrong, you have to bounce back, and it's all about that, and how you do bounce back.
And I think a bit of the story that I think lots of British performers are really interested in, and actually it's kind of what it's happening to you, Jack, is you go to America. You didn't just go to America, they wanted you.
Yeah, I did a stand-up film called Live and Unleashed, and it was at Cannes, darling, and Clang, and I went to Cannes, and a man from Disney saw the film, and he said, you should be in this film that we're going to do. It's called True Identity. And I didn't hear anything else. I just went, I'm going to be in a film! I'm going to be in a film! It was so exciting. And it was an Eddie Murphy film that he walked away from. And I didn't ask, why has Eddie Murphy walked away from this film? I just said, I'm going to be in a film. I'm going to marry Halle Berry. I just thought I was going to be in a movie. And I got there, and all they were concerned about was my weight.
Oh, I've been there, darling. Oh. I've sadly been there.
You need to lose 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
I had that. And so I was on the diet, which is air and a rice cake and some oxygen and some water. And on the other side of the piece of paper, it just says, everything else that's delicious. So I just couldn't eat anything.
Dull.
Yeah, man. So it was a bit of a downer. And then I had a guy called Doug, who was my trainer. And he was a really good guy, but he was ripped. He was so ripped. He hadn't eaten bread since 1972. Everything was like, everything was like, hey, Lenny, you know what I had to eat last night? And I go, what? A bowl of steroids, Doug. No, I had some lettuce. You're
This sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it was,
Why didn't you escape?
I couldn't escape because I was contracted to do 3 movies for Disney.
Oh!
And I was a white guy for the whole movie.
What?
I was playing a guy called Miles Pope, who was an African-American actor, and I spent the first 21 days being a white guy.
I think we've got a picture. Here, this is you.
What?
That is Lenny.
No!
I looked like a pissed white guy.
Yeah.
But I was a white guy. And,
So why was Simon Cowell in the film?
No, this face moved more than Simon's. And my sister actually came to visit me on the set of the movie and didn't recognise me. She came to New York and she walked by me in the streets, and the only way she recognised me was I said this, Sharon, I can't believe you blanked me in the streets in New York. I gave you nits when you were 4. And she went, what have they done to you? And it was a really tough experience.
It's weird, Kate, that you nodding and knowing what Lenny's talking about, because you found success so early. I thought you'd have avoided some of those pressures and that kind of, you know, the whole idea of the diet and all that stuff.
Well, I was never actually handed a diet sheet like that. That sounds truly horrendous. I can't believe that. That makes me want to really say some very big swear words right now, but I won't. But, yeah, I mean, my agents would get phone calls saying, so, how's her weight?
What?
And I look like this. I mean, you know...
But also,
I kind of look like
then
this.
your agents told you that.
Well, no. No, actually, to be fair on them, they didn't tell me that until a lot later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that, thankfully, I think that has changed. And if it hasn't changed, I'm telling you, this young generation of actors and actresses, they know how to stand in their truth and be themselves. And, you know, younger actors now, they have a voice and a place that I absolutely know I never had. But that's just awful. I'm so upset about those stories. I can't bear it. It makes me really cross.
There were a lot of expats there when I was there. People like John Cleese and Jonathan Lynn and Jeff Lynne from ELO and George Harrison, who were all moaning about being in LA, but who were a kind of a support network. It was fantastic. So they looked after me while I was over there.
I've had it with PASAG script offers. That's the way they give me pressure to change my body, because I'm well aware that I have a body that looks like it's made out of cheese string. And I've had quite a lot of pressure to, like, hit the gym and try and get the Marvel body, and I've said, absolutely not happening. And then the last time I was in LA, my agent sent me a script and they said, you need to read this because there is a part in it that is perfect for you. It's like it was written for you. Read the part, Frosty, and call me back. And I got the script and I found the part of Frosty, the part that was written for me. And the character description was a scheming and feeble heroin addict. I was like, OK, I get it. I have to go to the gym.
And Nadiya, when you found success after Bake Off, did you feel any pressure to kind of change your look, or...?
You know what? I think it definitely... I mean, in my industry, I think people might think it's like it doesn't exist, but it absolutely does. I think the first time I did my first cookery show, one of the comments that were eventually relayed to me sort of weeks and months later was she should probably stop wearing wool because it makes her look like she eats a lot of that cake. So, yeah, comments like that do exist. And, you know, it's really hard not to... for it not to affect you, but I grew up in an immigrant house with Bangladeshi parents. All I'm saying is I've heard worse. So I can take it. Is it OK? Absolutely not. But, yeah, comments like that all the time.
Right, we're going to make a pact. Hands in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. We will not be body shamed by any fucker ever again! Ever again!
Although... Jamaican women will stop me in the street if I put weight on.
Yeah.
And we all experience the pressure to get the Mary Berry bod. not listening to that, Lenny.
That's absolutely brilliant.
And Lenny Henry, this is Volume 2. Are you working on Volume 3?
Yeah, because there's stuff about comic relief that's not in there, and there's stuff about the acting that's not in there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't start doing that properly until 2010 with Northern Broadsides, did it in Othello.
Yeah,
and then
I saw that. It was one of the best Shakespeares I've ever seen live. You are fantastic in it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's changed my life. So I think when you write about life changes, it's difficult with the 20 years because it's a bit bitty. It's a bit, I did this TV show, I did that TV show. But things that properly change your life and make you think of things in a whole different way, which is what the acting stuff did, I think that's worth writing about. So that'll be the next thing, really.
All right, well, Rising to the Surface, that is out now, as is Lenny's children's novel, The Book of Legends. Very good. Now,
Thank you.
I want
I read the first one.
It's like Dudley Library in my little cupboard tonight. Nadiya Hussain has a new book out. Nadiya's Everyday Baking. And as the cover suggests, there are cakes in here, but that's not the whole story. There's all sorts of baking in here.
Yeah, so there's... it's all about baking, and it is breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you name it, everything goes in the oven.
And obviously cakes have brought you all this success, but am I right in thinking you are more of a savoury person than a sweet person?
Oh, yeah, I mean, on Eid, when we're celebrating, we have samosa eating competitions, and...
What?
Yes.
That's a thing.
Where is Eid? When is Eid?
Can
I be there?
You need to come over to ours, and we have a competition every year, and I ate 83 samosas.
Wow.
Is that a record?
I mean, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
7 minutes more tea.
That completely
I mean...
Jack, we've got to do that.
That's impressive.
Very impressive.
I mean, 83 samosas every year, twice a year. I'll be dead by 60, but at least I lived.
But also, you're very wise in talking about baking now, because I think genuinely, with the cost of living crisis, people are nervous about turning on their oven because it's so expensive and you have to leave it on for a while.
Yeah, I think people are really scared, and I think everyone's kind of turning to air fryers and using the microwave and things like that, which is absolutely fine. But I think what lots of people forget is that, firstly, the oven isn't just for baking cakes and sweet things. You can use it every single day, but it also has... Every oven comes with 3 shelves, which means that we should be frugal and think about how we use all 3 shelves and bake all at once. And then what I like to do is use all 3 shelves, bake at once, freeze, and then reheat. And then I'm only using the oven up. I'm only using that heat once.
No, my mother would say, growing up, she would never turn the oven on for one thing.
No, never.
She would always shove other things in it. And Kate Winslet, you're a cooker, aren't you? Not a physical cooker.
I'm a cooker.
Chef.
I'm the cupboard kind of cooker, as you can see.
I think it's just cook.
Yeah.
Cook. Yes, you're a cook.
Yeah, I do love cooking, but honestly, I'm such a useless baker. It was just my son's birthday, and I was trying to make brownies for him to take into school, but someone is really properly gluten-free in his class. So I thought, OK, well, that's all right, gluten-free brownie. It's also a nut-free school, so there was no almonds going in there.
No.
They were honestly terrible. They were terrible, and I was really upset because I was very excited and they smelt incredible, and they just tasted like shoes. They really did. I was really sad.
But here's the weird thing. Jack Whitehall, you are a proper foodie. You had a pop-up restaurant, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? Sorry, I forgot. It was a weird time. It was the pandemic, wasn't it?
It was lockdown.
And we did some strange things in
Like what?
lockdown because we were bored, and I thought, well, maybe I'll become a restaurateur.
But this was you and your brother, right?
Yeah, me and my brother, we did a pop-up restaurant because we had nothing else to do.
But it was a success.
It was either that or OnlyFans.
It was a success, wasn't it?
It was. Not with my brother, to be clear. Yes, it was a moderate success, I think. Yeah, it was a bit of fun.
But I know you have a thing you don't like to eat out alone, still now.
I don't mind eating on my own. The problem is as a stand-up, when you're on the road, you're often forced to eat on your own. But what I like when you're eating on your own is a sort of degree of discretion, because you don't want everyone to know that you're eating on your own. And I had a situation where I was caught out in America by a little Americanism that they like there. I was dining on my own, and I went to put my name down for a table at this restaurant, and the hostess came back out about 5 minutes later, and there were some other people waiting for tables as well. And then, at the top of her voice, she used my name in the most depressing sentence I've ever heard it used, because she walked out and she went, "Jack Whitehall, party for one!" And everyone is looking over to see who the pity party for one is. I have to do a walk of shame through the restaurant.
Right to the back.
Right to the back. She sits me down at this table. She then does that thing, and I don't know why they do this when you're eating on your own in a restaurant. She makes a big song and dance of removing the place setting on as if to say, we don't want anyone looking over and thinking that someone might be able to sit down opposite you.
That is so true. They do always do that.
Why do they do that? Then she came back with a menu, by which point I was like, this woman is taking the piss. She puts the menu down in front of me. She goes, well, you're not going to be interested in this first page because this is all of our sharing plates. I get it. I haven't got any friends. She goes, here we are, sir. This is more your area here. Wines by the glass. I was like, oh, madam, how wrong you are. I'm British. I may eat for a party of one, but I drink for a party of 5.
Oh, my God.
Can I just say, what's worse? I'm just going to completely... I'll come back.
We'll come back to you.
OK.
What's worse is when you're on a plane...
Yeah.
And...
You have to eat on your own.
No. Well, but you're on a plane and they say, wait for it, Muslim meal. Muslim meal. I'm like, are you for real? I'm on a plane. Like, what? And you know, everyone just goes, go. Come on.
That is worse.
That is worse.
I have experience.
Oh, my God.
Grow your beard a little longer and you might. You never know.
Nadiya's book, Everyday Baking, is available at all good bookshops now. Now, here's the thing. Jack Whitehall is heading back to school for Christmas. Bad Education Reunion is on BBC 3. And so this is a one-off special.
Yes, yeah.
And similar to Avatar, it's 10 years later.
Yes, similar to Avatar in that respect. Slightly smaller budget. And, yeah, so it's been, 10 years since we did the show, and the BBC asked us to do this kind of reunion special. So there's a careers day at Abbey Grove, and we see all of the original class coming back and visiting their teacher, Alfie Wickers.
And what sort of things are they doing now, the people who were pupils?
Well, we have, one of the kids has become like a Bitcoin millionaire, the other one's a Deliveroo driver, and then the twist in the episode is that one of the kids, who's played by Leighton Williams, Stephen, is the drama teacher at the school, and he's trying to keep that a secret from all of the other class members because he wishes that he was a West End star and he's back at his old school as the drama teacher, and that's kind of the storyline for the episode.
Well, we've got a clip. This is from Bad Education Reunion, and it does seem like some things haven't changed.
Hello? Is anybody in there? Oh my God.
Alfie?
My class is such a hoot. Sorry to eavesdrop. I just didn't want to ruin the lovely moment. Can you help me get out of this and find my clothes? Oh, careful. Oh, oh.
Oh, Alfie!
Oh. Don't worry, sir. I'll do you some new ones.
Very good. You're an executive producer on this now.
Yeah. So we've done this reunion special, which is coming out on the 15th, and then in the new year, there's going to be a new series, which I'm not in, but has two of the original cast now working as teachers at Abbey Grove. So Charlie Wernham and Leighton Williams, who are in the original cast, are now teachers there at the school, and that's going to be a new series in January.
And we've got to mention your new podcast, Safe Space. That's on Audible right now. And so this is kind of like famous people. You're talking to famous people.
Yes.
And they're sharing sort of awful things that have happened to them.
Yes, awful things that have, embarrassed them in their past, and they come and they get them all out there in the open and they share them with me and we laugh about them and we move on. I sort of feel like as a stand-up, that's what I've been doing for 10 years. Every time something embarrassing happens to me, I just go and talk to people on stage about it. So I thought I'd give that opportunity to guests.
So imagine if, Kate, if you were on that podcast, would you have tales to tell?
Well, I nearly did a poo on stage once.
What? And you were talking about holding your breath? When we had this to look forward to?
I'm just sitting here realising that you're now going to make me tell that story.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean,
we need context.
We need some more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm actually going to tell the story. Come on. It is tellable. It's quite long, so I'll try and go through it quickly, and then you're just going to have to edit really cleverly. So, when I was 18 years old, I was in a production of What the Butler Saw by Joe Orton at the Royal Exchange in Manchester. OK. And I played this character named Geraldine who goes to apply for the job of the doctor's secretary. And he says, well, let me see, Miss Buckley, I'm going to have to give you a full physical examination. Please go behind the curtain and strip. OK, so this is a part of the play. So in a normal situation, there's a regular stage, much like this one, with an audience there. So you'd think, well, go behind the curtain and you take your clothes off and you throw your things over and no one can see you because you're behind the curtain in a normal stage. This theatre was in the round. So little me, so I go behind the curtain and I do what I've done for nights on end and I take everything off and I'm behind this kind of curtain shape like that. So all the people above me are just looking straight down at poor little Kate. So I lie there and I have to lie on this bed and I would lie like this, really kind of uncomfortably and awkwardly, and I'm lying there and suddenly... Oh, no. It's happening. Oh, my God, I'm going to shit myself. I'm lying on a white sheet, naked on the stage, OK? So I'm like, oh my God, happening now, really happening, sweating, definitely, it's happened. So I think I'm convinced I've totally shat myself on and so I think, well, what am I going to do? Because in a minute I have to stand up, come out from behind the curtain and look for all my clothes that he sees in the plant pots, and I'm like, I've done a fucking poo! This is horrific. So I start to kind of runkle this sheet. I'm like, I'm just gonna get this sheet. So I try and scrunkle up this sheet as best I can. I do this some kind of sort of ninja flip move. I twist myself and I bind this sheet all around myself, and I'm still thinking, happening, coming behind the curtain, standing in front of an audience who can see me from every angle, and I'm absolutely just convinced that if I move my body, there's going to be poo on the floor. This is really a true... This is Isn't this awful? I promise you. This is the most awful, awful thing. So then, clothes, because the shoes, and honestly, I practically slither off this stage. And I hide in a corner thinking, I've got to check this sheet.
Did you shit yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, I had not actually done a poo, but the second I got into my dressing room and I ran into that bathroom, gunfire. Gunfire. Even as I remember this, I'm like, sweating. It's absolutely true.
Good guess.
Oh, my God.
Jack's podcast is Safe Space. It's on Audible, and you can see Bad Education Reunion on BBC Three next Thursday. Thank you for that. Right, time for music. This chart-topping pop favourite is back with his 7th studio album. Here, with an exclusive TV performance of Dancing on Cars, it is Olly Murs.
And if we're drinking the bottle dry, I'ma drown in your love tonight.
Shaped like a melody, straight out the 70s. Look what you done to me. You crossed the borderline, you crossed my thoughts tonight. This should be televised. So let's get drunk and meet at midnight. Just one more time. I might not be perfect, but girl, you deserve it. And if we're drinking the bottle dry, I'ma drown in your love tonight. And if it's the last time, then I'll die in your eyes. We're shooting the stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. Shooting the stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. Tonight, we're dancing on cars tonight. Only a matter of time before we dance tonight. It's burning Fahrenheit, yeah. So give me a time and place. I need to see your face. We got our lives to waste. So let's get drunk and meet at midnight. Just one more time. And if we're drinking the bottle dry, I'ma drown in your love tonight. And if it's the last time, then I'll die in your eyes. We're shooting stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. We're shooting stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. We're shooting stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. Dancing on cars while we're crashing these bars while we're singing on Mars. So get your coat and come with me. Dancing on cars while we're crashing these bars while we're singing on Mars. So get your coat and come. I might not be perfect, but girl, you deserve it. And if we're drinking the bottle dry, I'ma drown in your love tonight. And if it's the last time, then I die in your eyes. We're shooting stars tonight. We be dancing. Shooting the stars tonight. 'Cause we'll be dancing, we'll be dancing. Yeah. We're shooting the stars tonight. We're dancing on cars tonight. Come on. Dancing on cars while we're crashing these bars while we're singing on Mars. So get you going, come with me. Dancing on cars while we're crashing these bars while we're singing on Mars. So get you going, come with me.
Whoa! Wow, that is an earworm. Olly Murs and his band and his backing vocalist. Come on over, Olly. There you go. Woo! So good. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Jack, Nadiya, Lenny, Kate. That is Olly Murs.
Hello.
Oh,
darling. Lovely to meet you too.
There you go. Have a seat, do.
Yes, it smells really
I was
nice.
going to say...
Thank you.
No, I was going to say that is off the new album, Marry Me, but it's not. It's off the #1 album.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes, I'm ecstatic. Thank you to everyone that's bought it. Amazing.
5th #1 album. You still got it, Ollie. You still got it. God
After all
damn
this
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got it. Come on. Sorry.
Steady. Wow. And, of course, Marry Me, hands-off, engaged.
I'm engaged now.
Yeah, engaged, yes. Off the market. And is there a date yet for this wedding?
Next summer.
Next summer. Nice and vague.
I can't... Yeah, I think around June, July, if I can give you a little bit.
Yeah.
She'll kill me for even saying that.
So that's save the month.
Save the month, yeah. July, then.
The invites haven't gone out, though, yet?
Not yet, Jack, no.
OK, good.
And also...
My heart just skipped a beat.
And no pressure, but I'm thinking you don't have a best man yet, Ollie.
Well, I have a best man. I have a best man, I've just not told him yet.
Oh. Would you like to
you were just waiting for the right moment, I guess.
I feel like Cilla Black and Surprise, Surprise.
I'm free all of June, July, August, the whole of next year.
Maybe like an Ant and Deck moment. It could be you.
But it's not.
But it's not.
No. And listen, Marry Me, #1 album. Presumably there's a tour.
Yes, I'm going to be touring next year, April and May next year, plus there's summer dates. It's all year, basically, so... Apart from the wedding month.
Of course, the wedding month is off. Listen, good luck with the wedding, good luck with the tour. Thank you for that performance. Olly Murs, everybody! That is nearly it. Before we go, just time for a quick visit to the big red chair. Who's there? Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Ryan.
Ryan, you seem thrilled to be in the red chair. You won't be for long. OK, Ryan, off you go with your story.
So back in my uni days, I was doing a pub golf, and in between pubs, suddenly I really needed the toilet.
Oh, we've had that.
I claim the poo chat. That's my chat.
Yeah, we've had poo.
Yeah.
And what's pub golf?
Why is everyone looking at me? Like, I'm the alcoholic.
You're the kind of guy who would know what it was.
Pub golf, I believe it's when you go 18 pubs.
They have a drink in each
at 18
one.
pubs.
Yeah, they keep
and
going.
So you keep going.
Until there's no one left.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one asked me.
Nadia can do that with samosas.
I'm surprised
80. OK, who's up next?
87.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Graham.
Hi, what's your name?
It's Steve.
Stephen. And what do you do, Stephen?
I'm a musician.
Have you ever worked with Olly Murs?
I have not, but I am definitely up for that if Ollie is.
OK. Ollie's... Ollie's giving you a big thumbs up. Yeah, he really wants to do that.
Come on, tell me your story.
Off you go with your story.
So this story is when my sister was pregnant. And anyone who's been pregnant knows that certain things can make you feel quite nauseous. So at the top of her list was cat vomit, understandably. So she got up one day and, unfortunately, the cat had been sick in about 4 or 5 places around the lounge. So she sort of like, OK, I've got to try and clean this up, but just couldn't happen. So what she did, she got some Post-it notes and wrote cat sick on each Post-it note with a big arrow and kind of pointed it, you know, put them around the room and everything. Texted her husband and said, look, you've got to deal with this because I can't do it. Got on the train, went to work, forgot about it, no problem. But she forgot they were selling their house and had arranged to have a viewing that afternoon. So that afternoon, the estate agent came in, opened the door of the lounge, going, and now the lounge, and apparently 4 piles of cat sick, which has neatly been labelled for us. I don't think they're going to.
He wanted it. OK, that really is all we've got time for. If you'd like to have a go at the red chair yourself and tell your story, you can contact us via website at this very address. Please say a huge thank you to all of my guests tonight. Olly Murs, Jack Whitehall, Nadiya Hussain, Sir Lenny Henry, and Winslet. Join me next week with breakthrough star Rina Sawayama, novelist Richard Osman, star of the new Whitney Houston biopic Naomi Aki, top British actor Saran Jones, and the one and only Mr. Tom Hanks. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
And Jack Whitehall returns with the Bad Education reunion next week. Press the red button now and get yourself up to speed with all 3 series so far on BBC iPlayer. But don't go anywhere. Ryan Gosling stars in our Friday night crime thriller, The Place Beyond the Pines. Next.